It says it's just live on Restream right now.
Yeah. Okay.
You might have to refresh it. I'm more concerned about Instagram anyway because
It's live there. Sounds good.
that's
Live
not
there.
blurry looking.
I assume it's catching up to quality.
Oh, okay.
You ready live?
Look at me. Just the headphones put like a dent in your throat.
We're going live in 3, 2, 1. YouTube, make sure I mute it so I don't hear anything. All right.
Oh.
All right,
You
seeing
were
them
already.
fixing my hair because there's a delay.
Oh.
Oh, that's funny. That's fun. I'm going to unmute YouTube really quick just so we can hear to make sure we sound good. I feel like I should hear something.
Wait, does that mean no one can hear us? Can you hear us?
It's showing levels going out here, which is what we want to see. And it's not muted. You can see us. So,
I'm just gonna look on Instagram.
yeah, check it out.
Can you hear us?
Yes. Yeah, you can hear us. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Now we'll give some people in the mail time to hop on. Nobody's on just yet. Move this here. Keep this up and we can see any comments. Well, Shelby's joined. Hi, Shelby. Thanks for coming on. Ooh, all right. WE&CO Wednesday. Now, that I don't want sound.
Yeah, we don't need any of that music.
Oh, you just want to mute the music in general?
Yeah, it's fine.
This does look slightly better than last week from a quality perspective, at least.
I was just inviting a couple people.
Yeah. I'm going to practice some intros while you do that.
Oh, yeah, we're already live.
We are already live. We're live in living color. It's Jordan Wormley and my good friend, partner, wife, and a few other things, Shelby. Thank you for joining us today on this WE&CO Wednesday. It's February 7th, and you are at the place you want to be, talking to the people who want to talk to you. So thanks for joining.
That was a good one.
That was good? Yeah, I got a couple random ones. I mean, give it a try. You know, we got some time.
Okay. Let me try.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I'm a little tired. My energy's not up to par, but I'll try. Welcome to WE&CO Wednesday, where we keep you company.
That's it. Okay, that's good. That's solid. That's solid. It's our second WE&CO Wednesday, so that's exciting. You know, we've been talking about doing this. If you joined us last week, you might have heard this already, but we've been talking about going live and sharing stories and just talking about our story more for a better part of 4 years. We've actually done a couple, but we've never just gone live. So instead of pre-producing all this stuff like we do all the time, we're like, let's just get out there and talk to the people, you know?
Yeah, we knew if we did a whole pre-record, we would stop and say, nope, don't like that, let's do it over. And then it would never see the light of day, like many videos like this we've made in the past. So
shout out to the perfectionists out there who completely can relate to everything we just said.
My name is Shelby, and I am a recovering perfectionist. No, so yeah, anyway, we're really proud of ourselves for doing this because neither of us like to really be in front of the camera too much. We do
Though
all
I think we
everything.
look good, I don't know why we don't want to do this more. I mean, look at that.
But
Look at you.
as our confidence grows, this becomes a little bit more easier. And ultimately, we're just us. We're just being
Hmm.
ourselves, and we want to,
Yeah, share more of that with you all, learn a little bit more about you. So if you have questions while you're on here, I'll be checking the live to see if anybody's got any questions or anything like that. We will happily answer them as we go. This first phase or chapter, this first chapter of our lives is really just talking to you all about what We and Company is, how we started it, the inspiration behind it, the process behind it. So, especially if you're somebody who is an entrepreneur or think about starting a business, hopefully some of the things we share will be helpful for you because Lord knows we had a lot of growing pains and we had a lot of grace. Very thankful for that. But if we can help a couple people maybe avoid some of those things, we would be even more thankful to do that.
And
Yeah.
I also think too in the beginning, like there's this pressure of, for the sake of transparency and authenticity, it's show your progress, show all the things you're navigating and going through. And I think back then, another reason why I would stop from maybe posting or sharing because I was so self conscious about some of these things, but also I just feel like there's this added pressure of, well, I want people to see the process. But sometimes when you're in it, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not really thinking of, let me go live while I have this mental breakdown right now, just for the sake of authenticity. But anyway, I just had to put that out there because sometimes, yeah, people would say that. So
Yeah. But we will be trying to share more of our story, even though a lot of things we've done over the years. We're doing more of that throughout the week. So just to update anybody who hasn't seen the post, we're going to try to do something new and engaging with you all every day of the week. So
Mondays are word of
word
the
of the
day. The
day.
word of the day this week was celebrate because
Celebrate
it was
good
Jordan's
times. Come
birthday.
on.
Are you shaving your fro right now or
Something
something?
like that. Yeah, celebrate. So my birthday was this Monday. If you're here last week, you knew Shelby's birthday was last Monday. So we are Aquariuses, and that's fun by itself. I'm not really big into signs or anything, so I don't know what really any of that means. I just know we're both
Everyone says
Aquariuses.
that, yeah.
Like,
They're
you
like, "Oh, you're
work?
Aquarius." I was like,
Oh, all right. I'm like,
"Okay,
what does that mean?
I'm
There's a lot
Shelby,
in that.
but all right, okay." And then Tuesdays we have BTS Tuesday.
BTS
So check
Tuesdays.
out our page to see what we posted yesterday. And
Shout out to
today,
Patients Are Waiting and LGH and all the good people we've been able to work with. That was a fun one, honestly. We'll probably share a lot more even from that one, just because that was a big project, but we had a lot of fun doing it. So that was a fun one to do. Got to shout out a lot of our crew members we work
yeah. So
with.
just check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. And
Yep.
then today is We&Co Wednesday,
We&Co Wednesday,
which is what we're doing right now. And then just look at our page. Tomorrow is going to be Throwback Thursday, and Friday will be Free Write Friday. So I'll just be posting a prompt on Friday that we'll write to.
Yeah. We would love for you to engage in that. Maybe we'll even talk through some of the responses next week on our next We&Co Wednesday. But you want to get into today?
Let's get to it. Okay, well, first, disclaimer: we had a shoot today, and we just got back, but like an hour ago, so I'm a little tired. But for the sake of consistency, and we said we was going to do this, we're here.
Yes.
But bear with me because when people need a Twix.
Look, I got an espresso
Is
sitting
it
right
Twix or is it
there.
Snicker? It's
Huh?
Snicker.
It is
You're not
Snickers.
yourself when you.
Yeah, when you're
Who
hungry,
is
have a
that?
Snickers. It's
Is it a
Snickers.
Snicker? It's not a Twix.
Yeah, you're like Andy from The Office. If you know The Office,
I
you'll
didn't watch
appreciate
The
that
Office,
reference.
so I don't appreciate that. Who's Andy? Who's Andy, y'all?
You need a Snickers.
Okay.
But we'll eat something good after this.
I need a Snickers then. Anyway, bear with us. All right, let's get into it.
All right. Whew. So today, the way this goes is, we kind of have a topic of the day that we'll talk through. I got a couple questions I wrote. Shelby's got a couple questions she wrote. So we'll ask them to each other. We're both going to answer. Again, if you have any questions about whatever we're talking about, or even just anything, feel free to throw it in the chat, and I'll periodically look over and check. Shout out to Anya. Yeah, we're going to do the best we can. Thank you for joining us. And shout out to everybody over at Concrete Rose. We're actually usually going to be there. So this is, we'll try to do these a little earlier in the future. But shout out to everybody at Concrete Rose who was out there doing open mic.
Now,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. It's going until 9. Actually, it starts at 7. So we'll try to maybe even get you guys out soon enough that you can catch that, because it is worth going. It's great. The poets are amazing. But today we're talking branding, the brand, and that whole process, and what it was like coming up with that. So last week we just talked about coming with the idea and deciding this crazy thing to start a business together. But what do you do after you yeah, we're going to do a business. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. Well, you got to name it, and then you got to create it. And that was a whole process in itself. That was more than 6 months. I mean, honestly, we're still working through branding, truth be told. So I won't even say that's a process that ever truly ends, which is some advice on itself. Put out what you feel good about, but you don't have to have everything together.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things within our brand that we're still developing. But we wanted to start out strong with a couple of things. So do I want to do questions, or you want to do?
I can go.
You want to go? All right. You go first. What do you got?
Well, and also just speaking of branding, we didn't. That was a process in itself for picking out our colors to our website development, and as we ask questions, we'll kind of build on that. But my first question for you is, what was your favorite part of the design process in regards to our branding?
My favorite part, I'm actually torn on this. I kind of have two, but I'll only give you one. I think it may. Oh, this is tough. I want to say it was coming with our logo. There's a few different variations of our logo, some that you've never seen, probably never will. But just it was just such a big thing, having to decide, hey, when people think of us or our brand, this is what's going to pop up in their head. So that there was a lot of pressure in it to get it right. And I think that's probably one of the first things of pressure that a lot of people come up with between the name. We discussed our name a little last week, I think, but between the name and your logo, I mean, that's really what identifies you to the public and to everybody you work with. So getting something that really represented what we were doing and who we were was a big part. So that's not even just the shape of the logo itself, but a lot of it is the colors and the font, and it was a lot more to it. We had an excellent designer. Oh gosh, why am I blanking on her name?
Pinch Design Co.
Pinch Design Co. Who helped us through that entire process. Yeah, God bless Sade, because I don't know how we would have gotten through it. It would have been lots of tears, but she made that process just so much easier. I would definitely advise, if you're trying to invest in your brand and your company in the very beginning, pay somebody who does branding. It's worth paying. Yeah, we could have put something together, but she made the whole process just enjoyable, which was saying a lot, because like I said, there's a lot of pressure on that. So
she made us think.
Yeah,
think really hard.
And gave us lots of options. She took our words and put them to life, and now we have this brand that we love and that we're proud of. So, yeah, and maybe it's because I look at it every day and I see it every day, and I just always remember when it was nothing, or when it was version 3, version 2, and I'm like, does this work? Does not work?
She gave us like a list of 10, and it was like the last one.
But it was great. I mean, a couple of them was just hard to choose between, but I'm happy with where we ended up. So I would say that was probably I don't know if favorite's the best word, but it was kind of one of the most rewarding parts of it that I still enjoy to this day. So yeah, that's me. What about you? Favorite part?
Well, I'll add to the logo of why I loved it, mainly because when I would write out We&Company, the logo is very similar to my actual calligraphy, like how I actually
Yeah.
write. So
My handwriting's terrible. It wouldn't have been mine.
a mixture of script and cursive. So when I saw the that option, I was like, I had that written down in my journal, so it all really worked out. But I would say my favorite part about the not just branding process, but really in the beginning, like when we started building our website, we had no idea what it was going to look like. We had no idea what things we were going to put on there. We had at this point we had done a couple video projects, but we hadn't even had branding photos done or anything like that. And I think it took almost 9 months to develop our website. And at one point, our designer was like, "Look, y'all." This is just a launch. It's just a website launch. It doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to have everything figured out. It can just say, "Hey, welcome to our page. Stay tuned." Like she gave us all these different options. But for me, I felt like, because again, y'all, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I felt like, no, it has to be perfect or else the world can't see it.
Yeah, great's not good enough.
Why settle for great when you can be excellent? But um, I think I learned a lot about myself even throughout that process of, hey, you don't need to wait until everything is exactly as you want it to be. Just put it out there, see how it's received. So I really enjoyed the process of her asking, well, what colors do you like, or how do you want people to feel? So now I researched. Oh, I dropped my car. I researched just colors, like inviting colors, or colors that make people feel calm, or the colors that I that really brought me calm. And I remember saying I want it to be close to like an indigo blue. And so we were very intentional about all of those things. So I would say building the website and coming up with a color palette for that was one of my favorites.
Yeah. There's a little bit of shades of purple in there too, because I love purple. It's not my favorite color, but I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. It's easier to talk about them now. It was hard last week, but it's a little hat tip to them in my love. So I just love that part of it.
Yeah, our one logo had a book with
A little cityscape.
Yeah, it was
Skyline.
it was a book with a little cityscape.
I liked it
And
more
it
than she
was
did.
all these different colors, and we intentionally picked out each color that was on there too. We just didn't land on that one. The logo we use now is actually like the sub. It was if you wanted a variation, and we like the variation more than the original. We might we'll probably post that later to show y'all what that
Maybe.
process looked like. Yeah, maybe maybe. Okay.
Oh, this is me. This is my.
No, this is my question.
No, you just did your question. Yeah,
Oh, you're right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah. Look at you
Okay.
trying to sneak an extra question in. All right. Well, actually, this kind of lines up well because you talked about the brand, picking out the colors, but you also talked about the website. So my question is, what did it feel like seeing the website for the first time, like complete and then its full color? Complete, quote unquote, because it's never complete. But
did we have our branding photos up and everything by then? I think we did.
And I didn't even think about talking through our branding photos. That was fun too.
Yeah, we worked with Brady. Brady is amazing.
Shout out Brady, did a great job.
Yeah, they did such
We
an
still
amazing
use
job. They did such an amazing job on our images, so we love Brady. But I would say, I don't know. I was just happy that it was done, because it was just a big sigh of relief of, okay, it's out there, because we had made like an Instagram page and everything like that. That was a big step within itself. I had to be like, I had to be coached to hit the post button on our very first post. But I just really like seeing the website, and we got to get a lot of great feedback as far as how it could be more functional, how to navigate it. Honestly, our website for the most part is still the same. We haven't really made any updates to it. It is about time.
It is.
But
when you have a great designer,
Yeah.
you can get away with it for a year or two.
yeah, like we're like, we need a submission form, or we need this here. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool. And it was just cool being able to type it in and coming up with our website name. That's a whole different
Oh yeah.
story.
Yeah. WeShareYourStories.com.
No,
Go check it out.
let me get
Sorry.
to that.
I'm just, you mentioned it.
Okay. How about you?
Oh yeah. So seeing it for the first time for me was a big milestone because we're not necessarily a storefront type business, which a lot of businesses aren't now. A lot of people are virtual or they show up where you need to be. We do have our studio space here at Photo LA Studio on Chestnut Street, but more than having a storefront, we are more digital facing. So when you're looking for us, you're not necessarily going to drive down the street to Chestnut Street unless you're coming to visit or do a shoot. You're going to type in our website and you're going to meet us there. So seeing that come real was a big accomplishment because it felt like, oh, we're open. That was us flipping our open sign to have people be able to come and work with us. And uh, it was great getting feedback from it because a lot of people did like it. We definitely got some, hey, maybe tweak this or that. But overall, everybody was very receptive and positive about it, which was very relieving because, as I was saying, a lot went into it. A lot of time and even little minute things, how you scroll through the page and how the page presents itself, was all things that we had to talk about and work through and see options of. So yeah, it may not be going in and physically painting on a wall or organizing furniture or anything like that. But for us, that's what it was. Making sure we had a place that was inviting and comfortable for the people we want to work with that also represented the style we were going to do and who we were. So it was just a really exciting and yeah, there we go. It was just a really exciting thing to see. It made it real. I think it really made it real for me, and I'm sure for us. Once it was actually live, and it's like, oh gosh, we're gonna tell people to go and check it out. So yeah, it was
I haven't looked at it
forget.
that way, but I
No,
like that.
I know. That's how I feel. That's just me. What do I know? What do I know?
Okay. All right, my turn now.
Oh yes. So Sonia, what you got? What you got for me?
So we took a lot of classes throughout the time since we've been open, especially in the beginning. What was one of your favorite classes that we've taken? It could be a class or just a resource, anything.
So many. We did do a few classes, and I would advise everybody to get classes for the things you don't know. And it's okay to admit that you don't know it. It's fine.
You don't know what you don't know. And then the more you know, the more you realize
you don't know anything. That's right. It's too true.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm torn between the many things we'll be able to do over at actually, are we just going all the way through? I mean, this won't be early on.
Well, I said, you don't gotta list all of them.
But no. But I can pick a class from any. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, this isn't fair. I'm torn between two.
Okay, well, you can speak on one briefly.
Okay.
I mean, you can do two, but one of them has to be brief.
Okay.
Like, don't go as in depth.
Okay. Well, then I'll say the marketing class we got to do with Kiki was really fun. Mainly because
context.
Oh, so we did a class that really just it was actually a storytelling class, funny enough. Marketing storytelling. And yes, we are storytellers, but sometimes when you're doing it for yourself.
Through assets.
Yeah, through assets. Shout out assets and everybody working there. You do a great job. But when you're doing it for yourself, it's just different, We're all harsh judges of ourselves, and sometimes it's hard to get out of your own way to do things. So having somebody really be able to kind of walk you through it like Kiki did, and even help us communicate what we are trying to say better. Like after we did that class, we started communicating how we tell stories a little bit differently that I think is easier for people to understand. And ultimately our process is the same. It's just the way we communicate it was different. So I just really enjoyed being in that class with other entrepreneurs who are also trying to work through a lot of the similar things. But Kiki was an amazing instructor. We still are in contact with her today. And this was years ago, probably 2 years ago now.
21.
Was it 21? Yeah, 21. And that's the other benefit about doing a class. Even if you're doing a class about something you feel but maybe you just want to know more about, more than what you'll learn, it's the people you'll meet and the connections you'll make that really pay dividends in the long term. Uh, because yeah, we could just call her right now, I'm sure, and ask her anything about marketing, and no, I'm going to get a better answer than I would have came up with myself. And that's just the power of building real relationships with people. And had we not taken that class, we wouldn't have this real relationship with Kiki. So I would say that was probably one of my favorite. I am torn only because we just did one last year, also through assets, uh, just with finances. Because the further you get and the larger you get as a company, the more complex finances get. And I don't care how long you've been
It's a
doing
class we should have
finances.
took
Right.
when we first
Early
started.
on.
It would have been good to
Early
know some
on.
of those things.
So shout out to Eileen Wigato and Wigato Consulting, based out of Southern Market. If you need a accountant, please check her out. But she was just also very good to work with. The tools she provided us with are excellent. Things that you probably would not, or we just wouldn't have came up with on our own, that we're able to use on a daily. So I'll just do a shout out to that class, because we also met a lot of other entrepreneurs there that we still work with and talk to. And now I just love going to Southern Market and seeing Eileen and just catching up and telling her what's going on and getting advice from her. So just want to give a shout out to that one too. Those are the two I was kind of torn between. But yeah, that's me.
Those are good ones. I was. If you didn't bring up the marketing class, I was going to speak.
See, I almost didn't, because I was like, Shelby might pick this.
I did. Really,
I know you.
Just to touch on it, I did really enjoy the storytelling marketing class because, like Jordan said, we're really good at helping other people tell their story, but we had a hard time articulating what it was that we did and what it was that we do and the services that we offer. And a lot of times we would tell people, say, oh, well, what do you do? And we would say, we're storytellers. And they're like, well, what is that? Or what do you mean by that? Or what does that look like? Or how's that work? And we really struggle with our elevator pitch, being able to, every time people would ask us in the beginning what we did, we were like, well, and whenever you start with a well, just start over. Well, we kind of, so now we can say, hey, we're storytellers and we help people tell stories through photography, videography, and the written word. And we believe in the preservation of history through people's stories. We can say that easy now. A couple years ago, we could not do that at all. So going through that class really helped us open our eyes to the world of marketing, how to talk to people. And yeah, so just touch on. But one of my favorite classes that we took, I would have to really speak on, is SCORE. SCORE.
The very first. That's
SCORE
where we started.
SCORE was our first class that we took back in 2018 or 19.
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
Somewhere around that time. Pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. But somewhere around that time. And I believe it was a 6-week course, either 6 or 9 weeks. And I was still working at the time. So I remember rushing home.
3 hours a night.
Yeah. So I remember just rushing home and trying to make it to the class. And we covered different things each week. Some things we weren't even fully developed in our business to even answer some of the questions that they had. We were still coming up with. We didn't even have a name.
Yeah, we hadn't filed any paperwork or anything.
No paperwork was filed. We just had an idea. And I think at the time we were calling ourselves like We Media, but we weren't sold on it, but we knew it was We something. And one of the courses, I don't remember the woman's name, but she was telling the story about this guy who his business was picking up junk or something, picking up trash. And it literally was wepickupyourtrash.com or something like that. And she was like, and you know what? It said exactly what it is that he did. It was easy to remember. And he got a lot of business that way. And we walked away from that class. At first it was We Tell Your Stories, but that was taken, so we couldn't do that. And then we're like, oh, we share your stories. That's what we do. And if nothing else from that entire experience of taking that class, that is what I was most grateful for, and what I was most thankful for, because I don't know if we would have necessarily just landed there had we just been
Mm-hmm.
sitting and brainstorming on our own. But going through courses like these really get you thinking about the things that are really important to your business and as you're building your company. And a lot of it, and some of them they even said during the course was, hey, some of this you might not know right now, but eventually you will. Eventually you're going to come up with a business plan. Like we
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a business plan when we had started there or anything. So definitely recommend going through SCORE. SCORE and Assets offers different classes.
If you're
And
local, if you're not
yeah,
local, there
well,
are
scores
look into
scores
it.
scores a
Are they
lot of
national?
places. Yeah,
Okay.
scores pretty well all over. But um, yeah, so that would be one of my favorite classes.
That was a good class. I did enjoy that. It was you're right. It was tough because we both were still working full time back then. So it was like, oh, get off of out of a traffic jam on 30 and go straight into a 3 hour class without dinner. Oh God,
Oh
you don't like to
yeah,
see me
those
hungry.
were the days.
Oh yeah, those are exhausting
I don't
days.
miss it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The early days, honestly, all the days
And
of
and
entrepreneurship
a lot of
can
the
be long.
people in that class, some of them didn't make it throughout the whole course.
Hmm.
Some for whatever reason, because it is a big investment
Yeah.
of your time in
But
doing
it's
that.
worth it if you can stick through it. But I'm
Mhm.
not gonna tell anybody that it's necessarily just easy, just start and go. Like no, you're probably gonna start and stop and restart a couple of times
Yeah.
as you're just trying to get your footing. So yeah. Oh, is it my turn or is it your turn? I feel like
It's
it
your
should.
turn.
Oh,
No,
it's my
because I
turn.
just asked.
What'd you ask?
I just asked
Oh
this
yeah,
question.
that's right. So this is the third question. Who asked first?
It's your turn, Jordan.
Okay, let's see. Nope, I did that one. Okay, yes. Oh, we're only on the second question.
No, we're going on the third.
You'll be at your third after this. You asked the questions
You only
first.
asked
This is
one.
my
Ain't no way
second.
you only
I
asked one
did. I'm
question.
telling you. Okay. So my question is, I'm torn between these
I
two.
mean, you're gonna ask both of them
Yeah, you're right.
eventually.
Okay. So, what is one thing you want to add to our brand? Like, what's the next step for brand development and us that you're looking forward to?
Um, at a, as a company or as a brand
Yeah.
in the repeat the question.
What is one thing you want to add to our brand? Then I can answer this and might help you to understand where my head's at, but
Where's your head at?
hmm? Well, that means I'm going to answer
Oh,
though. You want me to answer?
I don't. I gotta think on that. What's one thing I want to add to? I mean, I know that this year I wanted us to just be more intentional about building community because I feel like we are surrounded by a lot of people that support us, that support our vision and our dream, and that have been like along for the ride. But I really want to build more of a community with people as we continue to grow. Because I was a little shy in the beginning, um, but that's something that I would like to do. And
It's a good answer. Not where thought you were going. Good answer.
but also, I will say I don't know if it's necessarily branding, but I guess it is. So we used to do yard sign exhibits in the first few years,
Hmm.
even before We&Company was a thing, too. But we would do yard sign exhibits, and that's just been really on my heart to kind of bring that up again. And it would just be sometimes it would feature photos with quotes, sometimes it would just strictly be quotes, and usually it was behind a cause or from like a series that we do. So I would love to bring that back.
Yeah, no, that counts. I mean, it's
Yeah.
advertising. Most of we've been really fortunate that a lot of our business comes through word of mouth, and we don't have to do a whole lot of front facing advertising through billboards or anything like that. Uh, but it is something that I look forward to doing. I look forward to seeing We&Company on a billboard one day, and putting out yard signs and helping to share people's stories through that. And I feel like we've talked through so many of these things and even implemented them for other stuff
Mm-hmm.
that would be cool to actually have out. So I was Shelby, that's not where I thought you were going with that. It
I
was a
mean,
good
where do you
answer.
where do you think I was going with it?
Well, I'll
What did you
give
think
you
was
my
one
two
thing?
answers.
Okay.
And one, you're gonna be like, ah. So the first thing that I look forward to adding to our brand, and we were debating about this early on a lot, and we just never settled on it, was having a mascot. I just feel like we should have a mascot. Yes, we have a logo, which is great, but I really want a mascot. I won't tell you guys what the mascot I want it to be is, 'cause I'm still trying to sell Shelby on it, and I've learned not to get over my skis, but I want to have a mascot. So if you think you have a good idea of what a mascot would be for us, we absolutely need a mascot. Everybody's got a mascot. All the brands I love have a mascot. So if you think you know a good mascot for us, just throw it in the chat or DM us or something. If you
with like the crazy fluffy eyes and fur and stuff.
Right? Look, hey, it's fun. It don't got to be that, but something.
My high school mascot was a bear cat. Do y'all know what a bear cat looks like?
I'm still confused by it.
Go bear cats.
It's like a jungle cat. It's like a mountain
like a
lion.
Bear cat.
Like a bear cat. That didn't help. That's just saying the name again.
Google bear cat and just what's going on.
We were an eagle. It's simple.
See, come on.
It was an eagle.
It could be an animal, maybe, but it needs to make sense.
Right. It's gotta be something. I'm looking forward to that. Now, the one that I thought you might go with was a jingle. Because we don't have a jingle.
Okay, a jingle and a mascot is different. Y'all hear my jingle? That his brother made.
That is not our official jingle, nor will it ever be.
It is. Okay.
So
hold on.
You're sitting down.
It's
no, go on. Yeah. No, I don't want to do it. I just
it's WE&Company.
No, go on, say it with your chest. Yeah, go on, say it with your chest. Let the people hear it.
It's WE&Company.
Yeah, see, that's it.
I've done it. It's out there, and people are gonna. It's gonna stick.
No, it's not, because I'm gonna come out with one so good that nobody will remember that.
If y'all have any jingle ideas,
so jingles and mascots,
not mascots.
Jingles and mascots are what we're looking for. We
don't need both.
I mean, just think of all the great brands.
You brought up jingle, which tells me I feel like you're leaning more towards that anyway.
No.
I didn't say nothing about
I want both of them. I'm just saying. So that's our challenge to the community. Is if you come up with a great jingle or a great mascot, we will absolutely give you credit for the rest of our business. So help us out. All right, though. That was my question. That's what I'm looking forward to adding to our brand. But honestly, yours might have been a better answer. Honestly, that was a good answer.
Olay says video life quality looks great from Laos.
Oh, shout out to Olay.
We miss you. Can't wait for you to come back home.
Yeah, no. We're trying to hold it down in here, but we do miss you. Hold it down. Okay. What are you doing up? It is late over there. Or is it early? 12 hours? Oh, you're just waking up. Good morning. Good morning, Olay.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. WE&Company.
No, I was doing a Kanye song. I don't know what that was.
That was the jingle. Yeah, okay. So you like it. All right, shoot. What do you got?
You're mad fake for that. Oh, because now you want to do the jingle? Okay. Is it my turn for the question now?
I think. This is your last one, I think. Yeah.
I don't really like this question. It's kind of repetitive.
You wrote it.
I wrote it because I just need to write something. Okay.
Do you want me to do mine? And you can.
It's my turn.
Okay.
Wait, are we doing a rapid round?
Oh, I didn't do any rapid round questions.
Do you have any?
I could try to think some between now and then.
Okay. I'll just ask what I wrote then. Why is it important to be intentional as you build up your dream, your company? So thinking of branding, all the things we kind of just talked about. But why is it important to be intentional about those things?
It's a great question. I think it's always, I won't say always important to be intentional, because sometimes you do need to just be able to go with the flow and live life. But I will say I feel like it's always important to be intentional when you're trying to do something big. which is what we're trying to do. We would love to do something big and lasting. So it's sometimes you can go too fast. I kind of mentioned getting ahead of your skis and skipping steps and missing steps, or not really being able to think things through completely. And when you're starting a business, especially when you're early on, the way you start, the foundation you lay is what you build on top of. And you need that to be strong. You need to have a strong sense of what your mission is and what your vision is and what your brand is, and that doesn't mean it doesn't change over time, but it does mean that you need to be able to know it for yourself. Because as you start to bring more people on, and as you start to get more customers, and as you start to do different services, it's easy to get lost in all of it because everything just starts moving so fast. At some point, everything just starts going so fast, and there's so much to do that you don't get that time back. So I'm speaking specifically for the beginning. You don't get that time back that you wish you had in the beginning to really think through X, Y, and Z, to think through your processes, to think through budgets, to think through branding. The further you get into business, the less time you have to really just do stuff like that. And then next thing you know, you're bringing in people who are experts in whatever it is you don't have time for. So if it's something that is important to you, you have to be intentional early on to really take that step back and think, okay, what does this mean for my business long term? Not just, hey, what do I need to get done right now because it needs to get done, but what does this mean for us in the long term, and how does that actually direct our business? So even like our slogan is "Your story, your way," and that was important to me, and I think to us in general. And it took us a while to get to just that, but because I always wanted people's stories to remain with them. Like I didn't want us to become a media company that just told people how to tell their stories or just told people what was important. I wanted people to really feel ownership of the story that's going out there. So while we'll guide you, we call ourselves guides through the storytelling, we'll give you suggestions and all of that. It's always important for us to know that it's your story. At the end of the day, it is your story. It's not our story. So it's got to be done your way. So that is one, yeah, a nice slogan just for people to hear, but it's also a constant reminder to us about just the ownership of the stories. Like this is a important thing we get to do. And that was an intentional thing. Every word in there was so intentional. And there's a few things in your business that I think you have to be that intentional with, just to make sure that, yeah, it keeps you, it's your North Star, you know?
Mm.
So I think finding those things that are going to be your North Star in your business and putting time into that and intention into that is important. And then there's some other things that you can change down the road and play with down the road. But yeah, I think it's very important just to be intentional throughout that early process with the big things, the important
Mm.
things. So,
I'm happy I asked that question.
yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
question. I don't know why you hesitate. It was a good
I don't know.
question.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh, you like that?
I
That was all
do.
right. Well, every now and then, you know.
No, but really, speaking of just what you were saying in the beginning, that time, I think really, I've been very reflective on just, yeah, the time you cannot get back. So that's why you get mad when people waste your time. But also the time that, well, let me back up. Remember how in our last We&Co Wednesday, I talked about the dreaming stage, how I really loved that period in our journey where we were just dreaming up the vision
Hmm.
and dreaming up what we wanted this company to look like, what we wanted it to be, what's not even just not about the services we would offer, but really what it is that we wanted to do for people. We would say, hey, invite us to the cookout. We're going to be taking pictures of you and your family just having a good time because we understood how those moments are very fleeting and you're not thinking about, oh, well, not everybody saying, oh, let me just snap this because you're in the moment. And us be like, we'll be there to capture those moments. Um, and I just love, and I know it's important to be intentional in the beginning because, like you said, that North Star really is what you can always refer back to. And the foundation of your business really is so important because yeah, you can't go back. Like, there's some things I wish we could go back and do. Like I wish we would have started and established this when we still,
Right
could,
before we did X, Y, and
yeah,
Z,
before we
mess
could
X, Y,
still,
and Z up.
we're not managing X amount of things. Like, we can just focus on this. Because yeah, it is easy to lose some of that intentionality as you get busy. Because who we were back then when we were thinking about a logo, we're not those people anymore. We have more responsibilities now, and it's it can be taxing, and it takes away from just having that space to imagine sometimes. But I also know I would find myself looking back at our old notes a lot. A lot of the notes we would do after work of what we wanted this to be. And it kind of helped me see, oh, we got so far away from that. Or this didn't come to fruition. Or this did come to fruition. Or maybe it didn't happen yet, but it can happen in the future. It's gonna happen in the future. Or um, yeah, things like that. So I think
Mhm.
it's definitely important to take your time and to really enjoy each season as you're growing and building your dream and building your vision, because it's very fleeting. The same way how we're finally posting these videos now, but I'm like, if I would have just posted that video of us sharing this process, then we'd have that piece. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, no, that was a really good question though. You only get the that first period once, so take your time with it. Once you're out, you're out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was good. Oh gosh, you actually gave me a follow up question from that. Now
Okay, we
I'll
got
come
time
back to it.
for
Yeah, I'll do
it's
my
your
last question. Yeah, that's right. It's my last question. So one of my last question is obviously brand related, but one of the things that everybody tells you to do when you're starting your brand, or one of the things they ask you is, well, what brands do you like? Like, what inspires you? Like, what brands do you connect with? So that is my question to you. What is one brand that really stands out to you, or that spoke to you, either early on when we were first going, or even if there's one that you have now that standing out to you, that help kind of direct, yeah, what you do, how you feel.
hmm, I won't call this a brand, but more so just a movement. And I don't know. I'm a big fan of Humans of New York. Brandon Stanton.
That's
I
a good
think I
one.
got. Oh
It's back
yeah,
there.
shameless plug. Humans. Um, but I love Brandon Stanton. I have followed him since the early 2000s. It's like I think around like 2010, 11 is really when he started popping up in New York. And I remember when his photos would get like 20 likes and like 50 likes. And I just got to see how it all grew. And all it was a man walking up to strangers, asking to capture their portrait and asking them to tell him his story or just what was going on in their day. And I was doing something very similar at that time in my hometown in York. And it was just a very healing thing for me, very intriguing. And it just taught me a lot about the world. It taught me a lot about people. I was in my early 20s then. So I was just discovering, I was just discovering so much about the world and people at the time. And to see, hey, this guy, this is what he's doing, and this is the impact that he's creating by simply sharing people's stories. Because we say this a lot, but we all have stories. We all want to be heard. We all want to be seen. We all want to be remembered. And we all have a story to tell, whether we realize it or not. And he gave people a platform and a voice, and a lot of actual change it has happened because of him just to me answering a call, seeing a need, and just doing something that you know people might not have thought much of it back then. But he's published a couple books now, all just featuring just different people's stories. And now with humans, it's all over the world. But it started in New York. It started in
Hmm.
this one place, and it's just really cool to see how it has had a ripple effect over so many thousands of people's lives. And it was just so encouraging to me because I'm like, if he can do it, I can do that. We can do that, to whatever scale that looks like. So my goal isn't to, while there's a lot of brands, or I won't even say, there's a lot of causes and stuff that I admire. I like the way people do things, but when I think to the core of it all, um, it's this is just so human and people centered. Like you can't deny the
Mm.
humanness of it all, because a lot of times we always be like, oh, I'm only human, and I just find that's a dumb thing to say, because yeah, we're human. I shouldn't have to explain my humanity to no one, but at least in this book, it's a testament, it's a record, and I love that. And that's what I want to strive to continue to do for people.
No.
That's all I gotta say. I'm sticking to it.
We did not set that up. I had no idea she was going to say Humans of New York. I'm glad you did. And she already had a book back there. That's how you know it's real. She really does love them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is just a great brand because on so many different ways, what they do is just great. But even just the name of it, when you think Humans of New York, you're going to get what it is. It's Humans of New York. You're going to see people in all their glory and all their different shades and colors and professions. And yeah, looking closely at it, I realized, okay, yeah, he does Humans of Paris and Humans of all these places.
And a lot of
It's
times too, like sometimes people, like there's a lot of exploitation out there, and he just does it in such a he does it with such
humane
dignity.
way.
He just it's so much dignity.
Like he cares
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
people he's working with.
yeah. I love it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was a great answer. Honestly, now I don't even like my answer as much because mine is going to be a national brand, but that was more. I mean, it's still national. He's actually international now, but it feels more local, which is a beautiful thing to be able to do. Have a national brand that feels local. I want that. Like
Yeah,
I
because
want people
you see
to.
those stories and you're like, oh, I got an uncle just like
Mm-hmm.
that, or my friend that reminds me of my friend. So yeah. What about you?
Mine actually was going to be one I'm sure everybody's heard of, but it's Nike. I really like how Nike, not necessarily their shoes, though I do have Nike shoes, and if they want to send me more, that's great. Uh, but I love how they do their stories, and it's usually just in quick commercial form, or on you'll see it on social media, and a lot of them might not have any words or verbiage, but there's a story that everybody gets to leave with, and usually they're inspiring. Uh, actually, there's two national brands I'll do. So Nike's the first one. It's just because of their approach to storytelling, and even just their slogan of "Just do it." Sometimes, I mean, I can't tell you how many times that just drives me. Like, yeah, I just need to do it. Like, it's
Like
just that
this.
simple. Literally, just do it.
Yeah.
And you say that, you think Nike, and I think that's for being such a national brand, a lot of times national, and I'm sure Nike has done some things just because we all have that I don't know about. And if you're out there like Nike's terrible, I just don't know about all that, but I'm sure it's something. But I like the way they do storytelling, uh, just because it's both creative and expressive, but they utilize so many different ways and mediums to do it that it's yeah, like I want people to be able to watch our stuff, and even if you can't hear anything, you still leave feeling something. Like you're going to leave feeling something whenever you watch something they create, or whenever you encounter something they create. So that's the one national brand I was thinking. And then the other national brand I was thinking, and just a shout out to them, just because I like what they stand for, and I associate them now more with what they stand for than even what they sell is Ben and Jerry's. I love Ben and Jerry's ice cream. They're fantastic. I believe it's a chunky monkey that is great. You can send me some of that too, but don't. Do not. But they're one of those brands who aren't afraid to just stand out front before anybody ever says anything and say, no, this is right and this is wrong. And 9 times out of 10, they're on the right side of that. I would say even more than 9 times out of 10, they're on the right side of that, because they've just decided, embedded in their brand, where a lot of us try to avoid getting into politics or try to avoid getting into controversy. They said, no, we're going to be known for taking it on, and we're going to be known for being out front about it. And if we make a mistake, we'll apologize. But we're going to listen, and we're going to let people know when we see something that's going wrong. And I've always respected that about them. I wish there was a Ben and Jerry's in Lancaster that I could just go to, but I'll buy your ice cream when I see it. But yeah, that is. I would just like them for that. So as random as that is, Nike and Ben and Jerry were two brands that really have just always stuck with me. I mean, there's so many other ones out there that do great things, and even locally, there's so many ones that do great things. You'll always hear me talk about Advantage Lancaster and what they do. And I mean, literally, they give advantage to youth in Lancaster City who wouldn't get a chance to go on a college tour, or wouldn't get a chance to take a field trip to different states and stuff like that. So I love when your brand matches your mission, which isn't always, it's just not always the case. So that's one thing just to think about when you are developing your brand. What is your mission, and how do you make your brand match your mission? Not just what brand looks good or what feels good, but does it match with what you're actually doing? I think is important. So yeah, that was mine. But I really liked your answer. That was a great answer.
Thanks.
Yeah, great answer. Yeah. I think that's our three big questions. I did not think of any rapid lightning round questions, but if you got some, you can rattle them off.
I just asked, what is something you are celebrating right now?
Oh, well, I mean, I'll be celebrating my birthday all month. I got that from my grandmother. Shout out, Mama. Yeah, so February 5th was my birthday. I am 32. And yeah, getting older, y'all. I'm finding a couple grays up there, but I'm still celebrating it in all of its glory. Getting old is a blessing. So I'm grateful. I can't even call myself old, but I feel like an old soul. But I'm grateful for that. So celebrating that, celebrating you, celebrating us, and just being able to get out here and do this. The last thing I'll celebrate is, really doing this full time. So this is completed a year now of really being at this, and now officially being full time at this is I wake up every day. I'm like, man, this is what I get to do every day for a living, and it's great. I really do love it. So I guess that's what I'm celebrating right now. Oh, you were working off of the word of the week. Yeah.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there. What you celebrating?
Yo.
Because
Because it's your birthday month. Psych. Well, not psych. I mean that. But I'm also celebrating, this month. Okay, actually, 4 years ago today, around this time of the month, we did our first public event. It was the Black
how
History
about that?
Month
Anniversary.
celebration
Happy anniversary.
at City Hall. We got to collaborate and partner with the city, Evita Cologne, Gracie Berry, and we got to interview 3 firefighters. We got to interview a police officer, Black police officers, Black firefighters, to highlight just the work that they've done and what it had meant to the community. And it was for the Black History Month celebration. But that was our first time, like, really officially doing We&Co things together. So we were still learning how to work with one another. We were still learning how to run our sets. It was literally just the two of us. Like, we didn't have a crew. We didn't have help. We had like 2 cheap lights we got off of Amazon. We had 1 camera. We didn't have 2 cameras. It was a 1-shot thing. And it was just so beautiful. It was so well received. It was our first time. I won't say it wasn't our first time seeing our work on a big screen, but it was just cool to have it at City Hall. And there was like a photo gallery in there.
That was one of our first things we did with all our new equipment that we didn't use for the first. 8 months.
Yeah.
But
So when I kind of reflect back on 4 years, like how far we've come in that time span, I'm just very proud. And it's definitely something to celebrate. And yeah, it's year 4. And we didn't quit. And we haven't. I mean, we've driven each other crazy
Plenty.
a lot.
That comes with the
We've had
territory.
beef. We've had beef, y'all.
I love her. I do love her. But even people who love each other, can bicker from time to time.
And it's hard. I mean, this is a conversation for a whole nother day, running a business with your spouse. So we won't get into it.
Right. We may need to bring some people in for that one.
Yes.
We're going to talk to some other couple entrepreneurs. We know plenty of them who also are working through this. But tune in for that We&CO Wednesday. That's going to be one you don't want to miss. That might be a series.
Yeah. So we're definitely have to do that. But I'm celebrating that because back then though it was like, wow, we can do this, and we felt so supported. And those same people that supported us back then are still supporting us now. So that's just definitely worth celebrating. And when we think about those, again, being intentional about with those moments in the beginning, that was like the beginning of our story. So I'm just really reflective. It's been real reflective.
There you have. A good one.
Sentimental.
I like it. Yeah, very. Maybe, I don't know if we've picked a Throwback Thursday yet, but maybe it can be one of those.
Oh, yeah.
On some firefighters. That'd be cool.
That'd be a good one.
I really did enjoy
I love
those.
Kyle's story. I mean, they were all
and
great
Dennis's.
stories.
I mean, yeah, who knows?
And that's when, and again, we talk about time. Like we took our time with those. I mean, it was a tight deadline, but we worked it out.
Yeah. That was good. Honestly, speaking of time, that's kind of our time. It is. What are we at? 7:30. So if you've been with us a full hour, God bless you.
I know. How was this, y'all?
Let us know. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. This is just episode 2. We're actually in probably a space you'll see us a little bit more in. Last week we were still celebrating our birthday, so we were out at a B&B.
We were relaxing. Yeah, nothing was working.
Honestly, at first I didn't know if we were going to go live last week, so I'm proud of us for doing it. Yeah. Let's get back in the pool. But yeah, no, thank you for spending some time with us tonight, for joining us. If you're watching this later, thank you for taking some time out. And grab my phone. Thank you for taking some time out to spend with us. Like we said, if you have any questions for us, anything you want us to talk about, anything you want to know about us, shoot us a DM, or you can drop something in the chat, and maybe we'll talk about it later. And just a nice reminder that Mondays are word of the day, so you can engage with us there.
I think
what?
Are we still live?
Are we? Did the computer die on us? Oh, no, you were still live. Yeah, you were fine. But please engage with us on all our social media platforms. We are We&Company 19 on Instagram. You can find us at We&Company on Facebook. Yeah, it's still working.
I was just trying.
You have little faith. We&Company on Facebook. You can find us online at WeShareYourStories.com. You can shoot us an email at info@WeShareYourStories.com. Am I missing any other way to get in contact with us? I can't think.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
If you want to page me, it's okay.
But yeah, shoot us a DM.
Other than that, my last words of wisdom for you all is to do something good for yourself, because we all work hard, and it's important to take care of yourself. So thank you for keeping us company, good people. And take care of yourself.
And what are you celebrating today? We talked about what we're celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
What are you celebrating? And if you feel like you don't got nothing to celebrate, just put your hand on your heart and just say, I'm here and I'm breathing and I'm able-bodied,
Because I'll tell you, today, I didn't mention this, but we're also celebrating all of you. So we're celebrating you today. So thank you. Take care of yourselves. We will see you maybe not the same time next week, but the same day. So just follow us online, and we'll let you know what time we're going live.
We'll be back here at some point.
That's right. Live and live in color, baby.
And tune in for Throwback Thursday and Free Write Friday.
Free Write Friday.
Yes.
Feel free to write us on Friday.
All right. Arrivederci. See you later, alligators.
We&Company.
See? No, stop.